Welcome to the Bad Mom Show, where we flip the script on shame, shed light on what's made you feel invisible, and take your story back. It is time to step into that bold, baddie mom you were created to be. Around here, BAD stands for blessed, already approved of, and divinely designed, because you are not a bad mom. You are a leader. You were chosen for your family on purpose. You are divinely designed and anointed as the heart of your home, and you can confidently own your mantle of leadership as a fiery woman to lead with boldness, not burnout. This is your space to reclaim the parts of your story that have felt like weaknesses and discover they were actually your superpowers all along. It is time to shine as a BAD mom. Are you with me? Let's go. Well, hey there, friend, and welcome back to the Bad Mom Show. I am Teresa Todd, your host, and I'm so glad you are here. If you're new to the show, welcome. And if you've been a faithful follower, can you believe the show is almost turning 1? I cannot believe it. I'm so just mind blown, and it's so exciting. And I'm just so grateful for each of you that have been here, whether you tune in every week or you catch an episode or you got to come back for the replays or you shared it with friends. And especially if you've subscribed and left reviews, just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really, this show is everything it is because of you. It would not be a show if you did not tune in and show up for it. I could talk to myself all day, but that's not very fun, is it? So this show has been really just such a blessing, and I hope that it is blessing you. And I do hope that you're subscribed and that you share it with friends, and please leave reviews. And I just pray that this community continues to grow, that God expands this territory worldwide. We are in other nations. We're not even just in America, which is so cool. And this community is your community. You are a bad mom, and you are bad in the best way. You are blessed and already approved of and divinely designed as the heart of your home. You have this mantle of leadership upon you, and it's time to stand in it in bold authority and to really just kick the lies and the labels and the things that have ever made you feel not good enough or unqualified for everything God's called you into, just kicking it out the door. And that's what we do here, because I love my baddie mommies. All right. And if that's whether you are a physical mom, you're a spiritual mom, you're a grandmom, you're an auntie, you're a sister, this is for you. So don't ever think that you are discounted if you are not a physical mom, that you carry the mantle of leadership in you. There are gifts inside of you because you are a woman and a woman of God, and He created you with gifts that nobody else has. So your unique talents and gifts are hidden behind the things that maybe you think disqualify you, because most of the time, that's where your breakthrough is. That's what I found. That's how the show started. And I'm just so excited. So I'm, spoiler alert, having a live anniversary episode next. Well, let me think about this. On Wednesday, the 12th. So I'm recording this ahead of time. You're going to see me recording it on the 12th, and then it will air the week after. But I would love for you to be there. And I'm doing it a little differently this time. I'm going to put it on Instagram, and we're going to do it as a live Instagram, which I haven't done in forever. But I thought it'd be a really fun way to engage with you and to invite new women into the community. And I'm going to have some guests on that are going to share some of their bad mom moments. And we're just going to, go through the show and reflect on some things. It'll be not too long. But even if you just pop in for a few minutes, I would absolutely love to see you there. So if you're watching the video, I feel like it's winter. Like, it is so dark outside because there's a thunderstorm, and my lighting it just makes it look like winter right now. So most of the time I feel like people don't watch the video. So if you are watching, it's not the middle of November. I don't know what's going on, but it's a very dark, thundery storm outside. So praying protection over our technology, because my whole message today is about summer. And for some of you, like myself, summer's wrapping up. Ugh. It's heartbreaking. I know it went by way too fast. I hope you had a great summer. Ours has been incredible, and I am not ready for it to end. However, you probably do still have a little bit of summer left. I know my Northeast friends, we've got summertime that goes till Labor Day. So you've got a whole bunch of summer left. But this is something that extends outside of summer. It's just something that I was brought to my attention by a friend of mine. And I knew this was something that a lot of us are challenged by. And I thought it'd be something good for us to talk about today. So I'm calling this the summer of yes. She actually coined it that too, because I said yes to a lot of things this summer. And I don't know about you, but saying yes to things all the time is not really the norm. I think no rolls off our tongue a lot easier, especially as moms. You might have been a yes person, then you have kids, and all of a sudden everything is like, no, no, don't touch that. No, don't do that. No, no, no. Out of love, of course, trying to protect them. But no, all of a sudden comes out of our mouths a lot faster than yes does, right? So, um, we were visiting Atlanta and we go every summer and bring my son to sleepaway camp. And normally I drop him off and then I come back home to Florida, spend a few days here, and then we drive back up and have like one day in Atlanta and pick him up and then drive home. We used to live in Atlanta for a long time. So Atlanta feels very much like home to me still. It is still dear to my heart. And we have so many great friends there. So it does feel rushed to get to make time to see everybody. And of course, I'll try to pop in on someone when they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we're busy. We have this going on or that, or we're on vacation. So in the past, it's never worked out. This year, though, I decided to stay the entire week, which again, normally don't do. And it was not the most convenient idea because it was me with my girls in a hotel for a week. I had a lot going on. I had podcast interviews. I had things that I needed to get done. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna have a week of no childcare and I'm gonna have to entertain them the entire time. How am I doing this? But something in me was like, just say yes, just do it. And they really wanted to do it. And so I said yes. And we ended up getting to get together with several friends, more so than I ever expected. And it was so much fun. First of all, the kids had a blast. My girls were so excited to reconnect with old friends and even like get closer with some that they didn't really have relationships with before. But then I got to see some of my mom friends that I haven't seen in over a year, if not more. And it was like picking up where we left off. And it was just so much fun. Like we were like, oh my gosh, we have so much to catch up on. Da, 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 da. And it just felt so good. And so I was so thankful to them that they said yes because I invited them. And one of my friends had pointed out, she's like, man, I'm so glad you said yes, like to coming, to staying, to inviting us, to get together, to the play date, to all the things. And she was like, I'm just so glad you said yes. Like even we went out to dinner one night and it had been a long day with the kids. I could have said no. I could have been like, I'm just going to go, chill in the hotel with the girls. But no, I said yes. And I'm so glad we ended up having a really great conversation. And it's stuff like that, where you're like, "Ah, I don't want to say yes to this, but something in me knows that I should. A lot of times we still say no. And so I got to thinking about that. I'm like, why is that? Even with our kids, like, um, I feel like they'll ask me to do something that I don't really want to do. Like it might be even playing a game. I'm like, ugh, I hate trouble. Like I really don't like that game, the popping and the noise and all things. But one of my girls loves it. And it's like, I could totally say no and come up with a reason not to do this. But I know that if I say yes, the payoff is so worth it because we get bonding time. She's happy, she got one-on-one time with mom. But so often we say no. Why do we do that? Seriously, think about that. I think the reason is that we don't like to be inconvenienced, to be quite honest. We are so married to our routines, to our schedules, to being too busy for anything outside of it. Where are my color blocking people? You love seeing all those colors on your calendar. I can't stand the color blocking. I've tried. I can't get it. Okay. It's just not my thing. I've learned to let that one go. However, I know it feels good to be regimented and to know what to expect from 1 hour to the next, and it's all full and it feels productive. But there's no white space. There's no grace for what does God have planned right now? You will never know because the white space is when that's how he works. He works in those moments that you weren't expecting. He works in the inconvenient. The Bible talks all the time about how this life is full of troubles and inconveniences and things like that. But to take heart because he's overcome it already. But we like to think we're the ones in control, right? Like, I know my schedule, I know what to expect. Sorry, there's no room for anything else. We miss those moments where you could reconnect with an old friend, where you might have a conversation that you weren't expecting with someone that you bump into at Starbucks, or you get the invite to, come to an event and like mine, but it feels inconvenient. Maybe it feels even a little scary. You don't know what to expect. Maybe it triggers some insecurities in you. Like, well, all those women are better than me. Who am I to be in that room? Well, you got invited, didn't you? Or to be the one to invite, right? How often do we stop ourselves from just picking up the phone and calling a friend to catch up? Hey, how are you? Or invite them over for the play date. Like, oh, well, my house is too messy, or I don't have anything good prepared for like snacks and all the things. Who cares? Who cares? I feel like people prefer that when we can just be real and be ourselves and not need it to be so perfectly curated. That's not real. And then I think honestly that makes us feel worse about ourselves, or the friend feels bad because then they're like, well, shoot, my house isn't perfectly. It's just like all those silly reasons that we say no. We miss out on these beautiful opportunities that God might have waiting for you, right? Hey, friend, thank you so much for being here and following the Bad Mom Show. I would love to hear from you, so let's connect. After the show, send me a DM and let me know what's hitting home for you. What do you struggle with the most as a mom? And what topics would you like to hear more about? This show is all about connection in the community because that is how we truly grow. So reach out to me at the Teresa Todd on Instagram, Facebook, or even TikTok, and I cannot wait to hear from you. But we get used to isolating. We get used to our routine, staying busy and so regimented. And so the summer is this really beautiful opportunity where you're not as regimented. You're not married to a routine. Maybe you do have a routine, but it's like probably a lot more lax than during the school year, right? Like you're waking up without an alarm. And the daily routine might look something like ours, where it was like slow mornings. I go to the gym, kids go to the playground, we come back together, we make some lunch, we go to the beach, we come home, we figure out what's for dinner. It's just like, there was reading time, they had to get some schoolwork stuff done too. I had to get some work done too. But for the most part, it was pretty lax, right? I said yes to a lot of things that I normally wouldn't say yes to, like extra desserts and soda and all the things. But we had so much fun and we were happy. Not to say that we're not happy back at home and we're going to be back on a regimen soon for school and all the things, but it's a lot harder to make the room for those inconvenient yeses. It just feels less convenient, right? I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, Yes Day. My kids love that. They actually want to have a yes day. And I'm like, oh, what are you trying to tell me? Do we not have enough yeses going on? Possibly. Um, but I don't know if you've seen the movie, but in the movie, I mean, it's a little outlandish, some of the stuff that they do. But these parents are like, man, we used to be fun. We used to say yes to all the things. And then we had kids, and now we say no all the time. And their kids are like, all you do is say no. Like, you never say yes. So they have this yes day. And they do a lot of wild things, but they do a lot of fun things. And at the end of it all, the outcome is they bonded. Like the family had, they were having some relational conflicts going on. I think there's like a couple of teens and the parents were having some stuff going on. And it was just like everybody came back together because you realize what really matters is being present and spending time with each other, even if it's inconvenient. They said yes to things, the parents said yes to things that they normally would never say yes to. And they had so much fun. They sparked so much joy in themselves and in their children and like made these memories. And it was like you could just see it. You're like, oh yeah, that's the goal. That's what really matters. And they ended up surprising themselves too, like doing certain things they didn't think they would enjoy, and then they actually did, or they learned something through the experience. That's us, guys. Like that's our opportunity too, every day. So, you know, whether it's with your kids or with your friends or being the one to reach out as the friend, I just want you to think about and ask yourself if no is more comfortable and automatic to you than a yes, why? What is it really about? Because 90% of the time, it's not really about the ask, especially with your kids. Something feels really inconvenient. I mean, I've caught myself and I've even like paused my husband. I'm like, well, we could do that. It's not what we want to do. It's not the most convenient thing to do, but it matters to them. And you could do it. So why not just try it and do it? And more often than not, it turns out better than you expected. So, but what is it about? Do you just not want to be inconvenienced? You don't like to be inconvenienced. You like to be comfortable. You like to feel in control if you know what to expect throughout your day. Just be honest with yourself. Do you say no because it comes from like a fear of something or feeling insecure? You know, the type of yeses I'm talking about, I just want to make sure I make the distinction. I'm not talking about a person that says yes too much to everything. That's called people pleasing. Or, you have attached your self-worth to the approval of others and you're afraid of disappointing them. So you say yes to too much. That's different. That's a different episode. I'm talking about you just don't like to be inconvenienced. You like your routine, you like the comfort of it, you like to know what to expect. No feels easier than yes. And so it comes out of your mouth more often. But what are you missing? And I want you to ask yourself in those moments, if you have a moment come up soon where no is already in your head and it's about to come out your mouth, just stop yourself for a second and ask yourself, why do I want to say no? What is it really about? You know, I always talk about getting in the room. Like, you cannot replace the work that God can do in you through others and through your presence in a room that you normally would not get into. When I have my events, I promise you every single time there are women that at the very last minute want to pull out, or even when I ask them, there are maybe, and then it just, gets down to it and they're like, I can't commit. I just can't commit the time. Okay. But every single time, the women, oh my gosh, this thunderstorm, every single time, the women that did say yes and inconvenienced themselves because everybody feels it. You're like, I got to make space for something that's normally not in my schedule. Every single time, I have at least one or two women come up to me at the end and say, I am so glad I said yes to this. I wasn't sure what to expect, or I had a lot going on, but I cannot imagine having missed this because there's nothing more important than doing this work together. And they made new connections. They had revelation. They have breakthroughs. We bond. I mean, it is only what God can do in a room, but you got to get in it. If you're saying no every time, you're missing the miracle moments. This is how he works. So I want you to recognize your tendency to say no and understand why, because it comes from a place of something. Don't say yes to everything, right? Good to have healthy boundaries, but I'm talking about saying yes to the inconvenient thing that you know would be good for you or could turn out well. You might just feel a little scared. Say yes next time. I want you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. That is a life of faith. And I have learned that over the past year or so, even starting this podcast. Are you kidding me? This was incredibly uncomfortable, but I am so glad I've done it. It has stretched me, it has grown me, but I have come to a new level of belief in who I am, in my authority, and in who God created me to be. And I have met so many incredible women, and I've gotten to share their stories through this platform with all of you. And we have this community growing now. It's incredible. All of that. I could not have orchestrated that myself. But if I didn't do it, if I said no because I was afraid, because of course I was afraid, there's so many things that could go wrong. You put yourself out there. What if it fails? What if nobody even listens? What if, all the things? Who am I to start a podcast? All those insecurities come up. But I did it anyway. And I am so glad I said yes to this. And I will keep saying yes to showing up. So I hope you do too. But truly, consider why you say no And my challenge to you is the next time something comes up where you want to say no, check in with yourself, but then say yes and see what happens. Whether it's with your kids or with a friend group or being the one to make the phone call and invite somebody over, even if your house is messy, who cares? Do it anyway. You might have reached them in a moment where they needed somebody to pull them out of their isolation and get them to say yes, but nobody invited them before. You see, there is so much power in it. And again, it just boils down to we are made for connection. We are meant to do life together. We have become more isolated. So saying yes might really feel hard for you, but it's really important to practice it because, again, God has miracle moments waiting for you in the white space, in the inconvenient moments, in the bump in at Starbucks and then someone wants to sit down and chat, or saying yes to going to the event that you weren't sure about. Grab a friend and go, or just show up by yourself. Do the scary thing, whatever it is, or having a conversation with your child that you feel distant from, or inviting them out, taking your kid out to dinner, or hey, what do you want to do today? Maybe give them a yes day for a day. See what happens. I don't know. I think I'm going to do a yes day, or maybe like a yes hour. I don't know. With some really solid boundaries around it, like no eating disgusting food, no buying anything, nothing dangerous. Oh, okay. So that is my message for you today. Um, and my challenge to you is to find one thing that you would normally say no to this week and say yes to it and see what happens. Make it a summer of yes while you still can, and then bring that into the fall season with you and see what happens. And let me know what happens because I would really like to know. And I do respond to all of your messages. So definitely let me know. Let it be a yes day. Okay. And in fact, I'm going to invite you to something that you can say yes to. I already talked about it in the beginning, but come and join me on the 12th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Instagram. Just show up. That's the cool part is like, you don't even have to join in the conversation, but I am going to make that opportunity available to people if they want to collaborate and come on and share something or a question. If you have a question, write it in. Maybe if you can't be there live, just send me a message about a topic you'd like to hear about or a question you have or something. And then the replay will be the following week. So come and join me. If you're not used to saying yes to that, let that be your yes. All right? Okay, that's all for me. I hope this message spoke to you. If it did, let me know. Share it with a friend. And as always, make sure that you're subscribed to the show so you don't miss an episode. They drop every single Wednesday. And I'd love it if you left me a review. That's how we spread this message far and wide to the greater good. All right. Love you, friend. Thanks for being here. Say yes.